Does it make a difference for health if you eat beef from organic grass-fed cows versus factory farm cows?
One of the other frauds I've seen, I call these the yuppie frauds, the white elite whole food market frauds, where they tell you, buy organic meat. Somehow in the back of your mind you have this deceptive idea that there's more compassion before they kill the animal, that they're grazing around the planet. Well, the real authorities on the earth and the environment tell us that we would have to wipe all the buildings, all of the cities, and all of the people off Earth and reproduce 7 planets to have all the animals grazing the way they tell you they do. So remember, there's no people, no cities, no buildings, just 7 planet Earths to feed the people the amount of meat that they're consuming today and have healthy grazing going on. So as I speak about in a number of my books, including Poisoning Poultry, Dairy Deception, this is completely a lie. It's a lie with a big L in this one. They literally are the same factory farms, same exact factory farms. Even the few that do graze, the last few weeks, they're put in the same factory farms with the other cattle. And there's laws that allow certain amounts of antibiotics to be given, etc. And shame on us for thinking that if you spend more money, you can be protected. That's an elitist idea, and it's what's gotten America and other countries into trouble. You can't buy your way out of these things. You've got to change your way out of these things. And there's no such thing as an organic meat. That's an oxymoron and a lie. It's marketing. It's not real. It's definitely not real. I mean, if you look at the studies I reported in Dairy Deception, they looked at eggs, so-called free-range eggs, half of which were organic, 1,300,000 eggs. 90% had salmonella or E. coli and salmonella on them. You did not have to cook them. You touched them and you could get that. But every time you notice in the news, they never tell you that it comes from an animal, salmonella or E. coli. They always blame a vegetable because the lobbies for the meat and dairy industry are so strong globally that if they did that, people would reduce the amount of animal-based food. If they knew what mad cow's disease was. Do you realize mad cow's disease was actually feeding vegan animals, steer animals? And the proteins in their body folded. And it actually eats away their muscle tissue because they fed a plant-based eating, just like you're a plant-based eater, an animal-based food. And people don't realize these overwhelming truths because they're not on your news. They're not in the newspaper. They're hidden. And unless you're listening here at The Real Truth About Health or attending these conferences here and other similar conferences, there's not too many like this one, I don't think there's another like this one, you're not going to learn these things.
What is the most important thing you want to share with our audience?
Today we have to recognize that life is up to us, that we cannot rely on governments or institutions or somebody else. We have finally hit the critical mass. We're in the beginning of the 21st century, and our independence is something we must cherish. And not independence for the fact of being independent, but independence so that you're not part of the problem. If you go along with the deception we call human life today, you are actually causing that concern. You're putting fuel on the fire. If we're not eating food that fuels a heart and a brain in a correct way, your consciousness will not be what it can be and should be. If you're not respecting and honoring the human body and making your physique strong and circulating your blood and having a body that you can be in for 100 years or more, shame on you. If you're not working hard, as I do every single day, to become more and more positive, to stay more open-minded, less closed-minded, more loving, more accepting, it makes you ill. It makes you sick. If you don't realize that those people that love you are the most important things in your life, rethink that. Always think, who's going to be there at my funeral? That's who you should be hanging around with today. All this futile nonsense we call entertainment today. Get back and create that family community that you have. Find true friends that will stand with you, with your values and your virtues. Make sure that love is your most important objective, to love and to be loved. That's why we're here. And how we achieve this is one way, to be impassioned by our lives. Because when you're in passion, you're fulfilled. And that's why we're here.